Good morning and welcome to the channel. Right now, we are seeing a deliberate attempt to influence Bitcoin's function, not by changing the code directly, but by using spam transactions to overwhelm the network and shift how people use it. But before we continue, please take a moment to support my work. Like and subscribe. Here's what that means. Spam fills block space with low utility or non-monetary data. This pushes transaction fees higher, makes base layer usage more expensive, and slowly forces smaller participants away from the network. Over time, this can normalize uses of Bitcoin that have nothing to do with sound money, such as treating it as a permanent data storage platform, instead of as a secure, neutral settlement layer for value. The strategy is subtle. It's not about breaking Bitcoin in a visible way. It's about changing what people see as normal. If enough users accept the shift, the culture and policy defaults start to move in favor of large players and centralized interests. Those are the groups who benefit most when the base layer becomes expensive and exclusive. This matters because Bitcoin's strength is not just in its code, but in its culture. The shared understanding that it is neutral, scarce, and resistant to censorship is what keeps it anchored to its original purpose. If that narrative is diluted, even without changing the consensus rules, Bitcoin's role in the future of money could be weakened. The defenses are still strong. Bitcoin's consensus rules the 21 million supply cap, proof of work, and full node validation cannot be changed without overwhelming agreement from the network. Spam can't force a consensus change. Honest nodes will reject any invalid block, no matter how much congestion is in the mempool. Spam can put stress on the network, but it cannot rewrite the rules. Now, let's look at the astrological picture. Bitcoin's natal chart, based on January 3, 2009, shows a sun in Capricorn, representing structure, rules, and the law of the system, and a north node in Aquarius, pointing to a destiny tied to decentralization, open networks, and collective sovereignty. In mid-August 2025, the full moon in Aquarius has just activated Bitcoin's north node. This is bringing its original decentralization mission back into focus. That's why the debate over what Bitcoin is truly for has intensified. We have Venus conjunct Jupiter, Venus representing value, currency, and harmony, and Jupiter representing law, expansion, and philosophy. This is a cosmic alignment favoring a return to principle over trend, a reset toward true value alignment. We also have Sirius rising, an ancient signal of timing resets and structural alignment. Symbolically, this points to Bitcoin realigning with its original mission. Saturn in Pisces is testing boundaries through confusion and misinformation, exactly the kind of social engineering atmosphere we see now. Meanwhile, Pluto in early Aquarius signals long-term power struggles over networks, exposing manipulations and returning control to the edges. In this astrological context, the message is clear. Aquarius energy supports decentralization and peer-to-peer structure. Capricorn reinforces rules and limits. Venus and Jupiter together point to value clarity and expansion. Saturn forces a maturity test, and Pluto makes hidden agendas visible. Sirius is the call to reset. Looking ahead, here's the forecast. In the short term, expect recurring congestion and more loud arguments over the purpose of the base layer. Policy debates over transaction relay rules and node defaults will continue. Layer 2 adoption will grow as a practical necessity. In the medium term, attempts to redefine Bitcoin away from base money will fail at the consensus level, but they will have the side effect of strengthening the social immune system, making the community more resistant to manipulation. In the long term, the struggle between centralizing forces and open networks will remain, but each failed attempt to capture Bitcoin will harden both its culture and its technical defenses. The bottom line is this: they can fill the mempool, they can flood the headlines, but they cannot force a change to Bitcoin as consensus without the approval of the people running their own nodes. The current sky is aligned with Bitcoin's original purpose: sovereignty, decentralization, and truth. And attempts to rewrite its role will not survive in the long run. Meanwhile, run Not's node, stay sovereign, stay off grid, stay sharp.